Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Ashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavatir Uttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiti. Om Agnana-timirandasya Gnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakammalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Ravita Shri Vichakanvitamscha Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshta Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Okay. We stop past 27. 320. Okay. Okay. So this is a super important verse. Etecham sakkala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrarivyakulam lokam Rudayanti yuge yuge. So now after describing all these various incarnations, now Shukadev Sutta Goswami is saying all the above mentioned incarnations which have been mentioned. This verse is establishing Krishna's supreme position. So if somebody asks, why, who is supreme? So we can quote this verse. Ete means all the above mentioned, all these. Ete cha amsha kala pumsaha. Pumsa means supreme. Purushaha pumsaha. Cha amsha kala. So there are two things here which we have to understand. One is called amsha and the other is called kala. Of whom Krishna to Bhagavan Swayam. They're all plenary portions. It's in English, Prabhupada has translated amsha as plenary portions and kala as portions of plenary portions. We'll discuss this. And but Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna, but you are the supreme original Bhagavan Swayam. You are Swayam Bhagavan. You are not these incarnations. As in, you are the original. All these incarnations are also personality of Godheads. But you are the original, Swayam. All these come from you, but you are the original person. And Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridayanti. So when Vyakula, Indra Ari means enemies of Indra. So when Indra's enemies create disturbance in the planets, then you come and give protection in every yuga in different ages. So all the more mentioned incarnations are either Amsha or Kala of the Lord, of the Supreme Lord, but Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheists. The Lord incarnates to protect the theists. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So in this purport, actually, there are many important things that we have to understand. So one is this Amsha. Okay. So first Prabhupada talks about Avatara. What is an Avatara? Avatara is Avatarati iti Avataraha. I told already. Anybody who descends, who comes down from the spiritual world, is called an Avatara. And Krishna is Bhagavan Swayam. So he is the Avatari. He is the source of all these incarnations. And he is the Swayam Bhagavan. Swayam means he himself is the Bhagavan. Which means that he is the, Prabhupada translated that as original Bhagavan. Original means from him, everything else, everybody else comes. The original candle, we say, the first candle. So Avatara, Avatari, this is one important. Second thing is Amsha and Kala. Amsha and Kala. One second. Okay. Then next is this Amsha and Kala. So Amsha is part, like Amsha is, he's part of him. As in, Amsha is coming from Krishna. So here Prabhupada is explaining what this Amsha and Kala, how do we understand this? He says, originally the Lord is full of all opulences, right? Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yashasha, Shriyaha, Gnana, Vairagya, Yoshchaiva, Shannam, Bhaga, Itingana. Aishwarya, Virya, Aishwarya is opulence, Virya is valor, Yashas, fame, Shriyaha, beauty, Gnana, knowledge, and Vairagya, renunciation. Now, originally, Krishna is full of all these opulences. That is why Krishna has, qualities which are present only in him, like 64 qualities, all of which are present in Krishna. But not all these qualities are present even in Vishnu. Now, why? Because when Krishna creates, or when there are incarnations that come from Krishna, and because they are plenary portion or parts of plenary portion, these opulences are partly manifested. So these opulences, so Krishna has all opulences. These opulences or his qualities, etc., they are only partly manifested. How much is manifested? As much as required for their particular function. So they are appearing for a particular purpose. Based on the purpose for which they are appearing, Krishna will decide which incarnation, which form of his require how much of these powers, how much of these qualities. So Prabhupada gives this example. When in the room, small electric bulbs are displayed, it does not mean that the electric powerhouse is limited by the small bulbs. Very beautiful analogy. Bulbs are there. Bulbs are very small, insignificant. But we cannot say that because the bulb is small and insignificant, the powerhouse from where the electrical energy is coming is also limited. No. Same powerhouse can supply power to operate large-scale industrial dynamos with greater volts, Prabhupada is saying. Similarly, incarnations of the Lord display limited powers because so much power is needed at that particular time. More is not required. More power is not required. So Krishna will only invest as much power as is required in those specific forms. Now, these, how do we understand this Amsha and Kala? Amsha is direct expansions from Krishna. Kala are expansions from expansions. So Balaram is Amsha. Everybody else coming from Balaram is Kala. Like Chaturvyuha, Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Niruddha, Sankarshana, they are Kala. So they are portions of plenary portions. These plenary portions means quality-wise they are partly manifested. Qualities are partly manifested, not like one part of Krishna is present, not like that. As in, they are also personality of Godhead. They are also same as Krishna, but Krishna doesn't manifest all his qualities in those incarnations or in those forms. That is why Vishnu also has only 60 qualities, because he is actually an expansion. He is expansion of Krishna. He's Krishna himself, but he only has 60 qualities present originally in Krishna. So this is why it is inconceivable to understand Krishna. How Krishna and Vishnu are the same, but Vishnu has different set of qualities. Very easy to understand. Another way is a person, very high power, somebody like a prime minister, etc. How he is at home and how he is at office. He might be displaying different qualities. This is just to understand this, saying that same person can be displaying different qualities. It's not very difficult to understand. Even in material world, we can kind of understand with this kind of example. And how are they same? Like the original candle from which all other candles are lit. Now, once they are lit, technically you cannot make out much difference, right? But you still know that there is one which is the original. So that shows that all of them are similar to the original. And this prime minister example shows that the qualities can be different. So Amsha and Kala, all of these are coming from Krishna. Their portions are parts of plenary portions. Plenary portion in English also means actually full, as in he is the same person, but he displays only part qualities. That is as is required for that particular avatar. Is this clear? Because many people are confused about this, are not clear. So if you have any questions, kindly ask, so that this concept has to be very clear. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, Vishnu Tattva. So there is Vishnu Tattva, Shiva Tattva, Jiva Tattva. Here we are talking about only Vishnu Tattva. So Vishnu Tattva, all of these are manifestations. All these incarnations that we talked about are Vishnu Tattva. They are non-different from Krishna, yet different because the qualities they manifest are lesser or part of what Krishna manifests. But they are still the same. They're still the same person. Any questions? Is it clear? Okay. Now, in the purport, then Prabhupada also talks about few incarnations that have been mentioned and says what aspects or what qualities are being manifested here. Very nice to hear. So he's saying Lord Parashurama and Lord Narasimha displayed unusual opulence by killing. So this is that virya, killing opulence. Parashurama and Narasimhadev demonstrated because that was required for their particular incarnations. Then Narada, Varaha, Buddha, faith, created faith. So this is one of the opulence of the Lord. And specifically Narada, Varaha and Buddha, they have created faith. Narada, like we said, is an empowered incarnation. Parshurama is also an empowered incarnation, Shaktya. Then Rama and Dhanvantari displayed Lord's fame. Prabhupada is saying. Balarama, Mohini, Vamana. Very nice. Balarama, Mohini, Vamana display his beauty. See, just imagine, I mean, by hearing all this, we can understand how powerful Krishna is. What is Krishna's position? Rama is only displaying Krishna's fame. Balarama, Mohini, Vamana are displaying Krishna's beauty, only meaning predominantly. Dattatreya, Matsya, Kurma, Kapila displayed his knowledge. Dattatreya, Matsya, Kurma, Kapila displayed his knowledge. Naranarayana displayed his renunciation. So beautiful. Just, I mean, we can imagine how powerful Krishna is. And he appears like a simple, small little boy. And all these other forms are, like Narasimhadev is, big and scary, and, Varaha, all of them are like so different from Krishna. But he is still the same person. And Krishna appears like a small boy, bewildering everybody, saying, how can he be the source of all these great, great forms? Yeah, Narasimhadev we can understand that he's Supreme Lord. He had like powerful nails, powerful body. It's big, huge. Vara also, he grew to such a big size. Krishna, yeah, he's soft, tender. 14-year-old boy, who is just like, he's taking care of his cows. How can one understand Krishna? That is why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Only devotees can understand. He's inconceivable. It's inconceivable. You cannot imagine. We cannot imagine the opulence of Krishna. We cannot imagine his position. And in spite of all this, the best part is that he loves his devotees so much that he gives up his own position. He's willing to give up his own position. He's saying, I don't care. I don't want to be God. I want to just be with these devotees who just love me so much. It's amazing, actually. So, when we read these verses, we can appreciate really what is Krishna's position and how fortunate we are that we are actually, trying to get shelter of Krishna, trying to build a relationship with him. Amazing. So Prabhupada is saying the Samam Bonam, Krishna is one without a second. Samam Bonam means everything or ultimate. He himself has expanded himself. Who can expand him? He himself has expanded himself. That means that it is also happening by his own energy, his own power, that he is expanding himself. Like when Nagnajiti, so when he had to marry that king of Nagnajit, Satya. So there were 7 bulls, right, which had to be tamed. And Krishna simply expanded himself into 7 forms and controlled all of them. Krishna expanded himself into 16,000 forms, 16,100 forms. So here he is expanding himself by himself. So now here there is a list of technically various forms that Krishna expands himself. Okay, I'll read that and we'll try to explain. See why we have to get into all this, you might say, all this is boring. Let's move on. No, but we have to understand Krishna's supreme position. Okay, one is if we have to defend Krishna's position in front of others, that is one. Second thing is for ourselves, we have to be convinced about Krishna's position. That is why Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he explains his opulences. Why? Because he just to give faith to us, saying, no, don't worry. People in Kali Yuga especially are very doubtful, or they are very foolish. Either of them. If they're intelligent, they're very doubtful. If they're non-intelligent, they're foolish. Non-intelligent, foolish people take everybody and anybody as Supreme Lord, right? Then these intelligent, they are very doubtful. They keep doubting. Yeah, material world also I see we cannot take shelter of anybody. Now, how do I take shelter of Krishna? So Krishna is saying, see, I am way, way, way more powerful than anybody else in this material world. Understand my opulence. And then being confident that, okay, Krishna is so powerful, one might be willing to surrender to him. Okay. So here Krishna is saying, first is Swayam Rupa. Swayam Rupa is Swayam Rupa, like Krishna's personal feature, Krishna himself, right? Because that also is a manifestation of his Shakti. So his Swayam Rupa. Then there is Swayam. Okay. So here Prabhupada is saying, this is from a lecture. Swayam Rupa means personal feature. He always remains in Vrindavan. He's just like a cowherd boy. This is his real feature, Krishna, Prabhupada is saying. Krishna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, that is not the real feature of Krishna. Because in Kurukshetra, when war happened, he was Dwaraka Krishna. He was in Dwaraka, right? So Dwaraka Krishna is not the real feature. Just like a person, high court judge, where you will find his real feature. His real feature you will find at his home, not on the bench. In the bench, even his father comes, high court judge's father, he will have to address the judge, my lord. That is a court. Same person at home, same person in court, different. Although same person. Prabhupada's lecture. So Swayam Rupa, we can understand this. So this Swayam Rupa means actually he is saying Vrindavana Krishna. That is Swayam Rupa of Krishna. Okay. Then Swayam Prakasha. Swayam Prakasha is Krishna manifests his Swayam Prakasha forms, but these features are exactly like his. Meaning the Swayam Prakasha are non-different from Krishna. But he is just simple mirror image of Krishna. When Lord Krishna married 16,100 queens in Dwaraka, he did so in 16,100 Prakasha expansions. Similarly, during the Rasa dance, he expanded himself in identical Prakasha forms to dance beside each and every gopi simultaneously. So this is Prakasha, meaning simply like just mirror image, as in no difference, just duplicate, simply duplicate. This is Prakasha. Then there is something called as Vilasa. Then there's something called Vilasa. In Vilasa, they are somewhat different in bodily features. So Balarama is the first Vilasa expansion of Krishna. And the 400 Narayana forms expand from Balarama. So these are all Vilasa, but there are feature differences, bodily features. So Balarama is white, Krishna is black, Krishna has 2 arms, Narayana has 4 arms. Like this, these are called Vilasa. So what is important for us? Swayam Rupa is important. Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. Swayam Rupa is Vrindavana Krishna. Then Prakasha, he himself expands exactly like himself. All qualities, everything alike. Like when he married queens of Dwaraka, and when he in the Rasa dance, when he expanded himself to be between every 2 gopis. Then Vilasa is Balaram and any other expansion where there are bodily feature differences. Okay. Then there is something called this Tadekatma. Okay, this is okay. This we don't want. I'm just only picking those which will not create confusion in us. Okay. Then there is Prabhava and Vaibhava. Prabhava forms are fully potent. So the potent Prabhava manifestations are of 2 varieties, temporary and eternal. Mohini, Hamsa, Shukla forms are manifested only temporarily. So this Mohini form, then there is Hamsa. Hamsa, in Bhagavatam we hear subsequently, Hamsa comes and gives spiritual knowledge, transcendental knowledge to Narada Muni. So this Hamsa, Mohini, Shukla I have not heard. So Prabhupada here is saying this Mohini, Hamsa are temporary forms. Temporary forms. Then other Prabhavas, you know, Dhanvantari, Rishabha, Vyasa, Dattatreya, Kapila, they are called. They are also other Prabhavas. So these are all fully potent. So we should understand they are fully potent, like Krishna. They are fully potent. Then there is Vaibhava Prakasha. Vaibhava Prakasha. So like this, there are so, like, that's why, like, just why we have to hear all these, like, it's just unimaginably, Krishna is so powerful, so powerful. So many things are happening. This is just, this is one aspect and of course, as divas, separated parts and parcels, all of us. Then this material creation, it's just done by Mahavishnu. Krishna is not even like involved. Mahavishnu is also not involved. It's just his energy, right? External energy, Bhautika Prakriti, which is taking care of this, everything in this material world. And she is so powerful. She herself is so powerful. That one jiva cannot really simply try to escape from this material world. So you just imagine how powerful Krishna is. And, our path of bhakti is like that way strange, because initially we think about all these opulence, power of Krishna, etc., etc. Then as we keep progressing in Krishna consciousness, we say, okay, those devotees who are in Raga Marg, they say, Krishna is my friend. I am not really Supreme Lord. Yeah, maybe he's, but I'm not very interested. So that is why Krishna becomes very pleased with such devotees, because though they know technically that he is so powerful, they're happy to just forget about that opulence, power of Krishna, and just lovingly establish a relationship with him. So he's very happy with such devotees. Okay, then Vishnu Tattva, like I said, 60 qualities of the 64. Shiva, 54 qualities. So there are 6 qualities. This we'll read in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, details, or even in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Which qualities are present in Krishna which are not present in Vishnu, that we know: Rupa Madhurya, Venu Madhurya, Bhakta Madhurya, then Leela Madhurya. Then there are 6 qualities which are present in Vishnu which are not present in Shiva. Those I don't remember orally. And then living entities can possess up to 50 qualities. And whose Brahma is the most qualified person. He possesses these 50 qualities to the maximum extent. So Prabhupada says a living being can become godly. A living being can become godly by developing the 78% transcendental attributes in fullness. One can develop this in fullness, and then he can become Brahma. But he can never become Shiva or Vishnu or Krishna. So even Shiva, because Shiva is not a post. Brahma is a post. Shiva himself is a personality, and he's not replaceable. It's not a post. It's not a post. Like, it's just an expansion. He's a form, very, again, inconceivable form of Vishnu. So who is same as Vishnu, but not same as Vishnu again. So if you see Goloka chart, if you remember, I had shown some time back. We keep forgetting, so it's nice to second. Yeah. So here, see this. This is Brahma Jyoti. So this is upper part is Kuntha, lower part is material world. So here, in this conjunction of spiritual and material. So this Viraja is the beginning of material portion, right? So here there is what is called a Sadashiva Loka. This Sadashiva Loka, this is actually Vishnu Tattva. This is Sadashiva, all auspicious, always auspicious Lord, who is not different from Vishnu. Okay, but then in conjunction, when it comes in touch with the material world, Vishnu doesn't come in touch with the material world. But Vishnu as Sadashiva, he comes in touch with the material world and that becomes Mahakala. Mahakala. Mahakala Dhamma. And from this Mahakala, then this is a form of Shiva in the material world, then Shambhu comes, then Rudra, etc. So that is why this is called Mahesha Dhamma. This portion is called Mahesha Dhamma, where there's Maya, who's Parvati, then Shambhu. Vishnu actually, he doesn't come in touch with Maya. So he actually, because to come in touch with Maya for material creation, he creates Shambhu. So that is why Shambhu is not different from Vishnu. But because he comes in touch with Maya, is different because Vishnu himself doesn't come in touch with Maya. So this is very important. That is why they are husband and wife, like Shambhu and Parvati. So this is these things we can understand when we hear Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So there are so many things. Actually, for English speaking, English devotees who can understand English, there is infinite amount of knowledge. Literally, other language people, they are unfortunate that way, restricted to only few scriptures that has been, those have been translated by, Prabhupada's books that have been translated, that too unfortunately badly translated. But English, fortunate souls who can read English in this life, so much of literature, and it is, it can just engross you. Like there is so much out there that we don't know or we can't understand, and that as and how we keep reading the scriptures, we feel like, oh, really, we are insignificant, and then we feel, why am I stuck here? How crazy I should be to be stuck in this miserable material world with things that are petty, but we somehow don't seem to be able to get over them. Such powerful conditioning, Maya, illusion, Lord's energy, even after knowing about it, many times we cannot get over it. Maya is so powerful. Krishna's illusory energy is so powerful. But when we read all these, we will develop more and more the desire saying, oh, no, let me somehow get out of this place. This is not the place. There's so many beautiful, places. Of course, eventually we want to go to Goloka. And this Brihad Bhagavatamrita, very beautiful description about how Gopa Kumara, who is, like an example of a devotee. Of course, he was in Vrindavan, much exalted than all of us. But and how he leaves this material world. He does sadhana bhakti, leaves this material world and goes to Krishna in Vrindavan. So beautiful description, and it will motivate us. It will tell us how we can go get stuck in various parts of this material creation. So there are two ways to go back to Godhead. One is a direct path, and like direct flight. Say no, now fly direct to San Francisco from Bangalore, like that. You can fly directly to Goloka from wherever we are in this material world. That is direct path. Now there is an indirect path where a devotee sometimes he wants to see various things or experience various things, then he will go from Bhuloka, then he will go up, he'll go to Swarga Loka, then he'll go to Maharloka, then finally he'll go to Satyaloka where Brahma is there. Then along with Brahma, then he will also achieve perfection. He will go to the spiritual world. Like that. But we don't have to do this. We can go directly from here, from Bhuloka, cut through, pierce through all these coverings of the universe, 7 coverings of the universe, each one 10 times bigger than this. Just imagine. They can't show that in this image, right? Because this itself, look at this diameter is so much. Now the first layer, though it's shown just as a simple strip here, but it is 10 times this. Second layer in blue, which is water, is 10 times the immediate layer before that, which means that it is 100 times this, like the 10, 10, 10, 10. So you can just imagine how thick the shell is. It's just unimaginable. And each of these are made of base elements like, Panchabhuta, earth, water, fire, air, ether. How can we go through just water? How can we just go through just fire? So we cannot go in this material body, right? So actually material body keeps on disintegrating into, earth element goes, water element goes, fire element, like that. We'll read this in second canto. But it's amazing, and then Jiva goes through all these. That is why this Hare Krishna Mahamantra here they're showing, from Bhuloka, from here. Just by Hare Krishna, we'll just penetrate, easily, simply penetrate this universe. Then we'll go past Mahat Tattva, we'll go past Viraja, we'll go past Brahma Jyoti, we will go past even Vaikuntha, Haridhama, if we want to go to Goloka. Then finally, we will go past Ayodhya, Dwaraka, Jagannath Puri, Mathura, etc. Finally, we'll come to Krishna. So powerful, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is, like it can, with yogis and other, other transcendentalists, they can't imagine how difficult the process is. They have to take millions of lifetimes to achieve perfection. But one who can take up the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, actually it's so powerful. In one moment, one can achieve perfection. It's so powerful. So we will understand all this, saying that, when we read these things about, when we hear all these beautiful narrations, then we understand, oh, this is so nice. I don't want to get stuck here. Let me perfect my life. Yeah. So this is just, we should understand how powerful Krishna is and how insignificant everything else is really in comparison with him, and how he is the source of everything. So this is the verse to glorify Krishna's supreme position. So it's good to actually memorize. Ete tamta kalapamsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Loke Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge. Okay. Any questions, anybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
How to understand the second offense then, Prabhuji? It is said that the names of demigods like Lord Brahma and Shiva, there it is mentioned Brahma as demigod and Shiva also as demigod.
Yeah.
And they are not equal and they are not independent of the names of the Lord Vishnu.
So because Krishna is supreme, or Vishnu is supreme. Brahma, Shiva, everybody are coming from Vishnu. Now they are not independent of Vishnu, because unless Vishnu decides to have them present, to manifest them, they will not manifest. Brahma, anyway, it's easy to understand. Brahma is a jiva. Brahma is just the most qualified jiva in the material, in a particular material universe. He becomes Brahma. And there are zillions of Brahmas, right? Based on how many ever universes are there. So it's very easy to understand saying Krishna and Brahma. Yeah, Brahma's father is Krishna because Brahma technically takes birth from Vishnu, right? So that position is easy to understand. Shiva is the difficult part. That is why Shiva is Vishnu, but not Vishnu because he comes in touch with Maya. So Vishnu also, Shiva also, actually Shiva manifests how in the universe? Shiva manifests through Brahma, who himself is a Jiva. So that just to show that Shiva's position is not very supreme. Krishna's position is supreme. So we should understand that that Krishna's position is supreme. So when we think, when we are chanting, and when we are thinking about Krishna's position, if we think that no, they are all same, because many people think that being demigod it's equivalent to worshipping Vishnu or Krishna. It's not true, because they are just leaves of root is Krishna or the tree. So we should not confuse these things, and then we will say, it's okay to worship Brahma also, it's okay to worship Shiva also, it's okay to worship Ganesha also, it's okay to worship Krishna also. Everybody is same. In fact, in Shankaracharya's followers, so they do what is called as Panchopasana. Panchopasana is they are just thinking, saying that Lord is formless, but we can worship the same Lord in 5 forms, like Ganesha, Surya, like this. And Vishnu also in that list, they think that he's just one imaginary temporary form. So for them, they're all equal. They don't see Vishnu as Supreme Lord. So like this, there are so many misconceptions. And while all of them seem like transcendentalists, like, yeah, they are not materialists. They are not here to enjoy this material world. But those are the real fallen souls who want to enjoy the material world. But then the transcendentalists who are now trying to get out of this material world, they have to understand absolute truth. But because Vedas are, they give information in ways that can bewilder people, because people with lesser intelligence will get stuck with second standard maths only. They think second standard maths is the supreme. There is nothing like PhD maths. And they will not go beyond that. And Vedas also allow them to remain there because they know that they cannot understand PhD maths, because they're just, their qualification is it can't take them beyond second standard maths, right, or 10th standard maths. So then those stuck there, but they're stubborn. So jivas, unfortunately, then they say my understanding that 10th standard maths itself is the topmost, is superior. PhD maths, no, I think it's all bogus. Somebody has just, they just created something new like this. So that is why it is important when we come to Krishna, we should understand that, yes, there are so many other schools. We are at the, topmost, whatever rung of knowledge that is possible. Then there are many other lower rungs. All of them are complete and acceptable at their own level. Complete for them, not for us, not from our perspective, but for them it's complete, because they can't go beyond that. So that is why the second, this one is saying, don't confuse Krishna's position. And Krishna's nama is not different from Krishna, so don't confuse his name with other names of other gods and demigods.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. The Krishna in Vrindavana, are you saying that it is the same as the personality of Godhead?
Yeah. He is the personality of God.
Only in Vrindavan.
No, so that's why, see, this is the whole thing that we discussed, right? Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the Swayam Bhagavan. Now, Krishna himself also has 3 forms, which are his, like we said, no, it's his Swayam Prakasha forms, as in he himself is present in Vrindavan, he himself is present in Mathura, he himself is present in Dwaraka. But in each of these places, he is exhibiting slightly different flavor of qualities.
Mhm.
The original Krishna, original meaning this Swayam Krishna is in Vrindavan. Krishna doesn't like to go out of Vrindavan. Okay, so that is why this is very difficult to understand. So when Krishna appears in Mathura, how does he appear? He appears in his four-armed form. So this is called Vasudeva Krishna, because it is actually Vasudeva, who is Krishna, Balaram, then from Balaram comes Vasudeva. So this is Vasudeva form, Vishnu form, which actually appeared in front of Devaki and Vasudeva. Okay, because Krishna and then Krishna actually made his appearance in Vrindavan, in Gokul, right, to Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. Actually, he took birth there, but this is the rahasya of Krishna's appearance. So Krishna actually, Swayam Krishna, he appeared directly in Gokul, right, which is Vrindavan. He didn't actually even appear in Mathura, right? Because that is, and also when Krishna goes from Mathura, from Vrindavan to Mathura, Swayam Krishna doesn't go. He now remains, and then his Mathura Krishna form, as in there are slightly different qualities, his type of people he meets, type of feelings that he, so all interactions are different. In Vrindavan, it is the most dear devotees, and he doesn't like to leave them at all. And when he goes to Mathura, they are city people. They don't have that close relationship because Krishna was never there in Mathura for so long. So it's a very formal city kind of relationship. Except for mother and father, also they are worshipping him with awe and reverence. Not like Yashoda and Nanda who think, no. So many times they come to know Krishna is Supreme Lord. I say, nah, it's okay. I want to beat him up. I want to tie him up. I want to, fix his. I want to make him a good boy. Yashoda is, not thinking, oh, Supreme Lord. Devaki is thinking, no, Supreme Lord. Awe and reverence. So that awe and reverence doesn't exist in Vrindavan, and Krishna doesn't like that awe and reverence. Krishna doesn't like awe and reverence. Krishna says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is discussing appearance of Krishna, and he says, why did Krishna appear in Vrindavan? Because he said, I don't like this awe and reverence. It doesn't attract me much. I want this pure love, which is beyond this awe and reverence. So even in Mathura, there is awe and reverence. Dwaraka, so more awe and reverence. But it is not Vishnu, it is still Krishna, but with the mood of Aishwarya. So he's Krishna only, but he has to, his opulence comes out because those leelas, those specific pastimes, requirements require him to be like that. Like he's a king, he's wearing a crown. But in Vrindavan, he's just, he wears a crown, but it's made of, like, it's peta. It's like, out of cloth and beautifully embroidered and colorful, and it's very different. Very, very different. So when we hear about Swayam Krishna, Vrindavan Krishna, then we can feel that sweetness. When we hear about Dwaraka Krishna, Mathura Krishna, or any other forms of Vishnu, they're all like, rich and opulent. And it's not like Vrindavan is not opulent. Vrindavan is the most opulent place. Like actually is described like the land, there's no, like you said, dust of Vrindavan. What is this dust? It's not like the dust that we see today. Actually, the whole pavement, the roads, everything is made of, precious stones. Like one place you will see just red land, which is all ruby. So Vrindavan is just inconceivable, right? But there's so much of opulence. Krishna also wears ornaments. Like Yashoda dresses him very nicely with beautiful ornaments. But that beauty is different, right? As soon as he goes to the forest, he wants to, he takes those colored minerals, decorates himself, and he wants to wear gunja, flowers, Vaijayanti. I mean, he just wants to be in the natural surroundings, natural, stuff. He doesn't like all this, crown and gold, and he just doesn't enjoy all that. But he wears it because mother likes it, so it's okay. He wears it. He likes it also, but nothing compared to what he finds in Vrindavan forest. So he's very different. His mood is very, very different. in Vrindavan. Like, cowherd boy. That's all. Simple. He's a cowherd boy. How much what cowherd boy will do, that is what he likes. Not like big king or, big opulent royal family. That is Mathura Dwaraka. So you can understand this actually when, if you go to Vrindavan once and then we soak into the mood of Vrindavan, it is very difficult. But at least if we start thinking how Vrajavasis live their life, and then we think about how people in Mathura live their life, very different. How people in Dwarka live their life, very different. So somewhat like close comparison, just to understand, saying that his mood is also different based on the place and devotees with whom he is there. But he is Swayam Krishna, is Swayam Rupa, is Vrindavan.
So even the present day in Vrindavan, Prabhu, do we feel that opulence? Is there any thing?
Okay, so this is, we can't see Vrindavan. We see a materially contaminated picture of Vrindavan because we are contaminated. Actually, these dhama, they are called dhama, abodes of the Lord, they are themselves manifest in this material world. So they are facsimile, they are exact replicas of the spiritual world. So whatever is there in the spiritual world actually is there even in this those dhamas which are present in the material world. But to see them, who will see them? Those devotees who are premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena, who have reached the perfection of bhakti, they can actually see Vrindavan as it is. What we are seeing today when we go to Vrindavan is we see dust, we see people unclean, we see all these things because we cannot see the real spiritual aspect of Vrindavan. And so we can't experience this. We can't like literally see it. But when we can experience the love of devotees there for Krishna, or Radharani, that we can experience by associating and hearing from devotees there, right? But we can't see any of this. We should hope and work towards, do our sadhana in such a way that we should be able to see today in this life. Really, there are devotees like our acharyas, Goswami, Shad Goswamis. They were able to see Krishna and Radha, and then suddenly they disappear, and then they are like crying, "Oh Krishna, Radha, where did you go? Why are you not manifesting in front of my vision?" Because Krishna can decide to manifest and then unmanifest, right? So he does that to increase the yearning of his devotees for him. So they can see, and then when they can't see, they're in distress. But when they can't see, also it is just Krishna's will, not that they've come down to our platform. But we have to understand, saying that actually we can reach this stage. We can reach this stage of perfection. But it requires a lot of sadhana. It requires very super clarity, saying that I don't want anything else. I don't want anything else in this material world. Not even family happiness, bodily happiness, nothing. I simply want Krishna. Ekeha Kurunandana. Those devotees who go in that direction. Prabhupada said, if you can do that kind of bhakti for 15, 20 years, one can achieve it. It's a dream. It's a dream. Really.
But when we go to the temple there, do you feel some sort of an aura or something?
Not aura. We feel the energy. We feel the energy. We can experience. I mean, Vrindavan, okay, let me tell you this way, right? When you go into Vrindavan, you suddenly switch from, at least those who want to absorb in the mode of Vrindavan, you switch from material consciousness to spiritual consciousness, which means that, when you are in Bangalore or wherever we are, and, so many mundane thoughts are coming into our mind, this, that. When we go there for whatever, if you're there for 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, whatever we are, all our material thoughts get cut off. Like, like a transmitter, like blocking. And then you also experience one more thing. Devotees who just recently we went, they came back, suddenly their bhakti goes up like many notches. They don't know because they've done very, with full submission, with very, nice attitude. They've tried to serve the Dhamma and serve the Dhamvasis and serve the Lord there, but the mercy immediately manifests. They come back to Bangalore and then suddenly somebody was not able to get up at 4:30, he starts getting up at 4:30. Somebody who didn't have, inclination to do 16 rounds, starts doing 16 rounds. Somebody did not want to give up onion garlic, they stop onion. Just like that. Just next day they come and they change. So this is another thing that devotees experience. And then again, when they come back to Bangalore, then, as we start coming back to Bangalore, then our material consciousness again starts to reappear. So this one can experience. So we may not be able to experience there. That requires a little bit more pure. But when we go to the Dham, we experience that, okay, this is different. But initially, at least, we will experience the difference in consciousness. And we will experience the elevation that we have got after, visiting, going and serving the Dham.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, and for all this, we have to go in the association of devotees, not
Yes.
so I'm saying serving the Dham. I didn't say visiting the Dham.
Yes.
Because visiting, seeing, going, all this is on the material platform, mundane platform. Only when we go with like-minded devotees, with the willingness to get absorbed in the mood of the Dham. Mood of the Dham means we have to hear the pastimes of the Lord, what he's doing, see how beautiful the relationship is, and you have to soak into that. And not many people are interested in, I want to go here, there, I want to do shopping, this, that. That's not going to help. And that's not going to help, right? Because we didn't enter the Dham at all. We just went and came. That's all. So, yeah, if you like that, then it's significant. I mean, we can experience the Dham that way, but we can't still see the rubies and we can't still see Radha there. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Anybody else? Anyway, I'll stop here. So, anybody else has any questions?
Prabhuji, Lord Rama Avatar and Narsimha Avatar are Purna Avatars, they say. How to understand this? Are they Purna Avatar?
No, Purna means, actually, see, there are various ways of classifying, or different acharyas have different ways of defining what Purna means. We have to understand. So actually, Krishna is Purnatama. Then Krishna in Vrindavan is Purnatama. Then Krishna in Mathura is Purnatara. Krishna in Dwarka is Purna. Then they also say, okay, Narsimha Dev is Purna. Purna, in the sense that Rama and Narsimha are as full as possible. But like I said, he doesn't these forms don't manifest all the qualities. So again, we have to understand when those acharyas are saying Purna, what it means. They're all very technical things. We should not go just by the, word Purna means complete. There is in spiritual life is complete, most complete. So how do you understand what complete is? So we have to see the definition where which acharya is saying Purna and how do they define it.
Because in one of the purport of first chapter of Gita, it is said that Lord Krishna is himself, Lord Krishna is none other than Lord Rama. It is said that, like, because we see that Kapit Dwaja on the flag.
Yeah, they're non-different. No, non-different from Rama. That's what I said. All Vishnu Tattvas are non-different from Krishna. They're non-different yet different. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said Achintya Beda Beda. So we have to understand saying it is non-different yet it is different. It's non-different because the material world is non-different from Krishna. What does that mean? Because it is coming from Krishna, it's non-different, as in it's just like a part of him type, right? But it is different because Krishna is different. This is a manifestation of his material energy. So these things take little time to understand, but we should understand like Krishna is the original. Everything comes from him. Whatever is coming from him can also be attributed as him only. Whatever is coming from Krishna can also be thought of as Krishna himself. But it is not Krishna also, because Krishna is present in Goloka Vrindavan. And everything else, Many of it is a manifestation of his energies. Some of it is manifestation of himself with part features like that, right? So it's inconceivable.
Some people worship Lord Rama, and
Yeah.
can they go to Goloka? No, no.
No, they won't want to go to Goloka. See, why would you want to go Goloka? See, that is why we should understand all of these forms, they're eternal forms and they have their own Dhamma, right? So when somebody is a devotee of Lord Rama, then he wants to read Ramayana. He is not interested in Krishna. He wants to know about Ayodhya. Like we go into the mood of Krishna and Krishna's forms and Krishna's qualities, etc. They'll go into the mood of Rama, Rama's qualities, Rama's devotees, Rama's Dham. Why would they want to come to Goloka?
Because in Kerala, I have seen most of them chant Hare Rama. They start with Hare Rama. And they say, what is the difference between Hare Krishna and Hare Rama? Because they start from Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Since
Yeah.
Rama and Krishna are both same, they say that.
No, actually, technically, Kalisantarana Upanishad, actually, original, I mean, there are the debate about this saying that, many versions of Kalisantarana Upanishad have Hare Rama first. And then, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and gave us Hare Krishna. Now, because we are believers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that we know that he is Supreme Lord himself. So we know that, okay, he is given this, so we have to accept it. Now, when in Rama, when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, what is the meaning of Rama in our chanting?
It is said that Prabhuji, that Rama word means Balram, and it is Parashuram, and it is at the same time Lord Rama.
None of these technically as we make progress. See, that is why I'm saying these are all various things we have to understand. Actually, Rama can mean Parashurama, Balarama, or Ramachandra. No, they are not on the same level as Krishna in the sense that relationship with Krishna and relationship with Rama, etc. All of them are different. No, actually, when we start to make progress on this path, right? That is why we have to stick to parampara. So actually, Rama means after when we chant Hare and Krishna, when we chant the names of Radha and Krishna, we experience bliss. That is Rama. So one who chants Hare Krishna experiences Krishna in the form of bliss. So this is actually the topmost understanding for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. We don't go into this saying Rama means Balaram, Parshuram. We're not really interested in that. But we say that because, Rama is there. So for outside people, Rama. Okay, you want to chant Rama? Okay, chant Rama. You can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and you can think of Rama as Rama. And then you can think of Krishna as all attractive Rama. So these are all different people. That is why we should not interpret. That's also one of the offense, right? We should not interpret the holy name. For us, in our acharyas have given it in a particular way, we should understand it that way. And different people have different, they can give their own interpretations. Okay.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you. We told like so many books are there, like our Acharya's book. So in what sequence, when to read?
Prabhu, can you please speak up a bit? I can't hear you. I barely hear you.
Okay. What about now, Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
You told like so many books are there, right? Our Acharya's books actually. When to read and which sequence we have to read? What are the books?
Okay, very good question. So generally, at least different gurus have different rules. Before going to the books of the acharyas, technically we should take permission of our guru. Technically. Okay, but otherwise, if that kind of a system is not there, etc., then we should have studied Prabhupada's books, all the books that Prabhupada has written, including Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, etc. We should have read them, studied them at least 3 times. At least 3 times. Because only then we can get to close to maybe 50-60% of understanding Prabhupada's mood and what he's trying to give. Because what will happen is when we start reading other acharyas, they will sound very different from Prabhupada and we'll get confused. Then we'll start thinking, Prabhupada did not give all this. Why? is Prabhupada not perfect, or Prabhupada is incomplete. So many, I mean, people have left ISKCON because of this. So we have to be very careful. We have to understand Prabhupada gave us exactly what is required for us. And he did not repeat what was given by other acharyas. Like, when Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is writing Chaitanya Charitamrita, repeatedly is saying, Vrindavan Das Thakur has already written Chaitanya Bhagavata. I don't want to offend him by writing anything close to what he has already written. Even in those pastimes which there is a little bit overlap, he's so, profusely, he's like, should not be offending. His mood is, no, how can I say something similar to what our previous acharya has written? It's arrogance. Right? So Prabhupada has not given what other acharyas have given. That doesn't mean Prabhupada is inferior. Prabhupada just doesn't want to repeat the same thing because it will just be arrogant, right? It's not etiquette. It's not etiquette, right? So he has in many places in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavata, in different places, he said that a devotee who is serious should read the other books of the previous acharyas, right? But for that, first we have to very, very clearly understand mood of Prabhupada, and we should have done sadhana so that all our we should get over this knowledge seeking, as in knowledge for the sake of knowledge state, because then we will not be able to understand the mood of different acharyas and all that. So we should soak into the parampara first. Understand Prabhupada's exalted position, understand the exalted position of previous acharyas. Then at least 3 times, if you have read all of Prabhupada's books, then we can touch. And when we reach there, what books, what order, that is a personal discussion that we can do separately. Because there is no fixed recommended order, because there are so many books. So then it will depend on what mood, what are we trying to understand, what questions do we have which needs to be answered, which books will address those, etc., etc. So many.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Then we'll conclude here. Yeah. I'm willing we should meet next week, Saturday. Yesterday I couldn't make it. Apologies. But we'll try to. There's too many things which keep happening. I have a schedule. I try to move things around, but sometimes inevitably I will have to miss something. Unfortunately, this time I had to miss. I try to not miss those classes which are once or twice in a week. So once in a week is my top priority. Then twice in a week, at least I try to do one of them, if not both. So like that, some prioritization, deprioritization. Forgive me, but Krishna willing, next week we should. Okay, so we'll end here. Again, request all of you to please continue your reading of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah anantakoti vaishnava. Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.